Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a device that's shaping up to be literally the most technically ambitious release we've seen in years. The upcoming iPhone 18 Pro Max. We're talking about massive, truly groundbreaking technological leaps here, from the incredibly advanced silicon that powers it to the actual mechanics of its camera. But, as you might guess, with unprecedented ambition comes an unprecedented and heavily rumored premium cost.
Okay, let's dive into this. Apple is about to charge you $200 more for an iPhone, and most people are going to pay it. That quote right there perfectly sets the stage for the massive stakes of this upgrade cycle. The leaks and reports pouring in all point to a device that's going to seriously push the boundaries of smartphone engineering, but it's going to demand a serious premium from your wallet.
Here's our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Design and display tweaks, 2. The variable aperture revolution, 3. The 2nm engine, 4. Battery and connectivity boosts, 5. The fractured release schedule, and finally, 6. The price of ambition.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, Design and Display Tweaks, Refining the Form.
Now, while this isn't slated to be a massive, ground-up redesign year, the physical adjustments Apple is making are incredibly deliberate. To house all this new cutting-edge tech, the device is naturally gaining a little bit of weight and thickness, bringing it to around 9mm thick and 240 grams. It's reportedly sticking with an aluminum body, so no titanium return just yet. But the big, visual hook, the thing that's really going to catch everyone's eye, is the highly anticipated dark cherry color. Sources suggest it's this deep burgundy with a royal purple tint, and it'll sit alongside light blue, dark gray, and silver options.
There's also a major visual shift happening right on the screen. There are a few conflicting rumors about the exact timeline, but prominent supply chain leaks show the dynamic island physically contracting by a massive 35%. So imagine that black pill at the top of your screen actually shrinking down from 20.7mm to just 13.5mm. It's a highly visible, everyday difference that reclaims some precious screen real estate.
Interestingly, while Apple is adding a bunch of tech elsewhere, they're actually taking something away here. The camera control button introduced previously is getting stripped of its capacitive and pressure sensors, basically the tech that feels exactly how hard you're pressing. It's still going to function similarly, but this is a very strategic two-step move by Apple to manage their ballooning manufacturing costs and ultimately lower their repair costs for users.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Section 2, the variable aperture revolution, a mechanical leap.
This is easily the most significant upgrade to a smartphone camera in years. Seriously, if you're a photography fan, this is absolutely huge. Pretty much every phone you've ever used has a fixed aperture, a locked opening that relies on software and digital filters to fake a blurred background. But variable aperture? That's mechanical. Picture a physical camera pupil actually opening and closing in real time. It gives you genuine, manual control over how much light enters the lens, creating a truly natural depth of field, exactly like you'd get on a high-end professional camera. And to capture all that extra light, leaks indicate Apple is implementing a brand new Samsung 3-layer stacked image sensor. This combination dramatically improves dynamic range and reduces noise in low-light situations. If these reports hold true, we're not just looking at your standard year-over-year spec bump, it's a legitimate generational leap that finally hands pro users true manual control over their photography.
Moving right along to Section 3, the 2nm engine, unprecedented power. Let's shift our focus to the brain of the phone, the A20 chip, because this is where things get both incredibly fast and incredibly expensive. The A20 is stepping down to TSMC's cutting-edge 2nm process. Yes, it's going to be up to 15% faster than the previous generation, but the crucial point is that 30% jump in power efficiency. That 30% is the magic number that's actually going to change your daily experience by massively extending how long the phone can run.
How are they pulling this off? Well, it's a completely new architecture called WCM, or Wafer-Level Multi-Chip Module. Think of a standard computer as having traffic jams between the brain, the CPU, and the memory, the RAM. WCM eliminates those traffic jams by physically fusing the RAM directly onto the CPU and GPU wafer. It clears out internal space and allows data to move at literal lightning speed, which is incredibly important for intense on-device AI processing.
But listen, this level of cutting-edge engineering, it does not come cheap. Manufacturing this state-of-the-art 2nm chip is reportedly 50% more expensive than last year's 3nm chips. Apple is paying heavily to manufacture this brain, and that right there plants the seed for exactly why this phone is going to hit your wallet so hard.
Next up, Section 4, Battery and Connectivity Boosts, going off-grid.
So how does that hyper-efficient brain and slightly thicker chassis actually translate into real-world endurance? Well, it translates into this, a massive battery upgrade. The iPhone 18 Pro Max is expected to carry a 5,567 mAh battery. That is nearly a 500 mAh jump from the previous Pro Max. When you combine this physically larger battery with that 30% more efficient A20 chip, we're more than likely looking at the longest-lasting iPhone ever shipped.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the introduction of Apple's custom C2 modem. We aren't just talking about emergency SOS texts anymore. This new modem could unlock actual 5G satellite internet access. Just imagine being completely off the grid, miles and miles away from a cell tower, and still being able to load Apple Maps, share photos, and use third-party apps entirely via satellite. It's a game changer.
Alongside that crazy connectivity comes a really notable privacy win. A new limit precise location feature is arriving that'll prevent network operators like Geo, Airtel, or whoever your carrier happens to be from tracking your exact GPS coordinates. It restricts them to seeing only a rough general area.
All right, Section 5, the fractured release schedule, a strategic delay.
Up until now, everything sounds pretty fantastic, right? But here is the catch. Apple's rollout strategy this year is highly unusual and, quite frankly, entirely fractured. Looking at this timeline, in September 2026, the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max will launch as usual. Later that fall, the highly anticipated iPhone Fold will drop. But the base model iPhone 18, that is reportedly delayed until spring of 2027. This means budget-conscious buyers won't have a new, cheaper base model option until a full 6 months after the Pro models hit the market.
The business logic here is honestly pretty straightforward. By delaying the base model, Apple is essentially forcing early fall upgraders to open their wallets for the higher-margin premium devices. If you want a shiny new phone in September, your only choices are going to be the ultra-expensive Pros or the brand-new foldable.
Finally, Section 6, the price of ambition, what it costs you.
We've seen the hyper-expensive 2-nanometer chip, the groundbreaking mechanical camera, and the strategically delayed base model. So what's the final damage? $1,399. That is the staggeringly high starting price currently being reported for the iPhone 18 Pro Max, with the smaller Pro starting at $1,299. Multiple market analysts note that because Apple's internal RAM and chip manufacturing costs have absolutely skyrocketed, with some components literally tripling in price, Apple is decisively passing that premium directly onto the consumer.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how you should navigate this release. If you have an iPhone 15 or older, almost every spec here is a monumental jump. It's a very clear upgrade. But if you're sitting on an iPhone 17 Pro Max, you should probably hold off and save your money, unless that mechanical variable aperture camera is something you absolutely need for your photography.
The iPhone 18 Pro Max is undeniably a marvel of modern engineering, packing true architectural leaps rather than just a few marketing bullet points. But it's priced to match that extreme ambition. So I leave you with this final thought to consider. When September rolls around, will this massive technological leap be worth the unprecedented premium price for you? Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we will catch you next time.